you a bit about your career, and one of the things that we would love to know is basically, did you always know you wanted to do what you're doing today?
Did I always know? I think I wouldn't say I've always known because in high school you change. One moment you want to do this, the next you want to do that, the next. But I think when you get closer to matric, like grade 11, um, that's where you start making the decision and the choices to say this is what you want to do. So whatever you do from that moment then starts pointing towards what you want to do. Of which I think, I would say at that particular stage or grade, I knew that okay, I wanted to become a teacher, and I think I had good role models in front of me of teachers. So the motivation was quite high. So you know, I guess I could say yeah. From that onset, I knew that okay, I wanted to do this.
All right. And then another question I think I forgot to ask this one earlier. Were there any teachers or mentors who had a big impact on you?
Yes. Mentors, of course, yes. And I think even teachers change generally, even though the word, I wouldn't say the mentors, but they played a very big role in terms of shaping and forming, thinking and perspective of how things look at the moment. So,
Mm,
yeah, I could mention a few if I had to, that I feel about these people. If it wasn't for them, probably wouldn't have seen things the way I did.
okay. I love that.
Yeah.
Giving a bit of appreciation to people who, day in, day out, such as yourself now, who are able to give a
Mm,
bit of themselves to learners and say, you know what, it's not about just the profession, but how you also shape an individual. So that is something that
mm,
I'd say is absolutely brilliant. It's something that, it's very hard to forget because at the end of the day, it's one of the things that shape who we are. So I am
mm.
very thankful to hear you say that. So tell me, what challenges did you face after leaving high school? Because a lot of people just believe that a person leaves high school and once they're out of high school, it is very easy for them to just be wherever they want to be. So, what challenges did you actually face, if any?
Yeah, after high school, I remember in high school, our teachers used to say, once you're out of the uniform, that's where life starts, because the uniform is like routine, a guaranteed, you know, di- like directive of what you're going to do. But once you take it off and then you start being a person,
Mm,
that's when you start things. So I saw after high school, yeah, really, man, there's things that just, come and like, first of all, finishing school. I think a lot of people, as much as we take it for granted, going to school, finishing on record time is a
mm,
challenge, to some extent, because studying is not easy, as we all know, you know.
mm-hmm,
And during the studying process, there's things that are just coming up because you're also growing as a person, you know what I mean? Growing, you
mm,
forming identity, you finding yourself, all of that. So
right.
challenges like, yeah, so I think for me, the main challenges were just, I guess the normal ones would be the struggles of, as a student, money, funds. You could
Right.
always use more money. Um, I felt that was one aspect that could have been so great if I had a bit more money than I but yeah, it was okay. Survived well.
Mm,
Um, I don't know. For me, I just went to school and I told myself, you know what, I've got 4 years to do this, and I'm just gonna just do it and finish. And I did exactly that, and I left. You know, so I didn't really pay much attention to many things that were happening around me. But I was just so focused on making sure that you know I'm finishing school, and I was also working part time. So I guess that would be my challenge: the fact that I had to balance school and work at the same time. But
all
I
right.
did
All
for a
right.
good 3 years. Yeah. So yeah.
So, question is then, what advice would you give to students that are looking to follow a similar career path? because you are into teaching. And, funny enough, when you are in school, teaching is a profession you just want to stay away from. However, once you get to the outside world and you learn certain things, you find yourself in a specific situation where you're like, I think this is for me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's different when you on the other side now. When you in class and you're a learner and you're a student, you just look at things and you just go. But I think with teaching, for me, it was realizing that there's so many things that goes to being a teacher. It can go. Being a teacher, obviously, you qualify, you do all that stuff, whatever. But it's such a broad job where you have to teach character, man. You teach humanity, you teach discipline, you teach, you just teach life skills in generally. Yeah, so I realized then about you standing at a point of influence when you're a teacher. What you put into those kids can either take them very, very far, or you can just crumble them up and cripple them, So the point of influence, you've got strong influence, So I would say to the guys that perhaps want to go to the field of education, just know, man, that you carry so much power. You can either break or make with what you say, and how you just present life in general to your learners, whether what level they are. But you know, you've got such an impact, man.
Yeah, definitely something like that. Impacting in the lives of children is a very important thing. It's a thing that we don't often think about. And there's another thing that a lot of people don't often speak about, and I'm going to generally ask you. It is a global conversation that we do have, and that is also touching on a bit on mental wellness. So when it comes to mental wellness, what would you say, in terms of advice you'd give to people, especially parents? Because when it comes to parents, they have children with different challenges. Some you find that a child is autistic. Some might have an issue, let's say, with reading because they're dyslexic. So there are many other mental and physical sort of challenges that are there. So what advice would you give to, people want to come into the field, but that is the fear that they have, having to encounter such challenges?
Um, Firstly, to the parents, I think the one thing I've seen in the past couple of years that I've been, teaching at the schools I've been at, is that the key to attending any issue is especially when it comes to those kind of issues where you find that a child is dyslexic, and the child is like got something, autism or whatever. Acceptance, man. That's the first thing. Acceptance. A
Okay.
lot of parents are in denial. A lot of parents don't want to accept. As crazy as it sounds, but it's true. Get parents that we
Mm.
call to school oftentimes, and we tell them, look, this kid has got this problem, this problem, this problem. And you find that the parent is like ignorant to that because they want the child to run the normal, I guess, routes that kids go or schooling. But most times, they struggle. So my advice would be, to the parents, accept that. And then to the guys that want to teach it, and probably when you're a teacher, you're going to come across such challenges. I think patience, that's the one thing I'll tell you. Patience, being able to just come down and say, you know what, let's just do this step by step. Because trust me, you'll feel some type of way because you think this is what you're supposed to get, but this is what you're getting. But
Right.
then you have to now say, okay, look, this is what I've got, and I have to work with what I have, whatever shape or form
Mm.
those kids might be in. You just have to be patient and try to do your part, I guess.
All right. And there's something where that we have touched on, and it also works with this thing. Building relationships with parents is a very important thing, because when it comes to shaping the life of a child, there's a thing where when we have a conversation with parents and saying there's going to be an issue around subject choice, there's going to be this, there's going to be a that, and then having parents come into parent meetings, How much of a challenge would you say you've experienced in terms of getting parents to come on board and be like, "Okay, it's a parent teacher association meeting. I am going to avail myself."
Well, where I'm at right now, we're quite a big school. We've got like 1.5 and some change kids. That's a lot. But look, we try to get parents to come most of the time, and I'm not gonna lie, they attend most of the time. I'd say 80% of them show up. Um, but then I guess it's the nature and the type of the type of school. Yeah, again, I think it's the type of school we're at. You understand? Because
Okay.
it's a different setting of type of school. So the parents, most of them, unemployed, so they're available. They can come to school meetings. Unlike
Okay.
where you're at a school where the parents, most of them are working and they've got day jobs running. You find that
Mm.
clashes with them. That's what I've come to notice. You know what I mean? Because also looking back at my parents never came to most of my meetings, and it wasn't because they wanted home, it's because they were always at work. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Always at work, whatever the issue is. But now when you find parents that are unemployed and available, they come. Most of them come. Although you find that here it's the grandmothers that tend to show up. That's one problem I'm noting. The parents are young but unavailable. It's the grandparents raising the kids. Creates a challenge for us now.
Nice, 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 nice one. Yeah. And then, okay, I don't anticipate you would have many problems. You are at a primary school, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, yes, sir.
All right. So when it comes to disciplinary issues, you are not experiencing as much, or would you say, in terms of what you have seen in the time that you've been in the field, how much different are they compared to when you look at high school students? Is it less sort of issues, or is it more, or it's evenly balanced?
Wow. Fortunately, I did experience high school the first year after school. I worked at a school in Room, and I experienced a bit of high school.
Okay.
But I would say primary kids are better, man. I think for me, I would survive better at primary level than high school.
All right.
Obviously there are challenges, but I think primary is a lot. I feel like we can deal because the problem there is just discipline issues. Behavioral issues.
All
In
right.
high school, there's a lot of issues, man. In high school, it's gender issues, identity issues. There's just so much. And it becomes, or but in primary, you're still dealing with your normal behavioral issues that one can handle and deal with, on a day-to-day basis. And if you apply discipline, whether it's kneeling on the floor, it's not an issue. You can. In high school, I don't think it's survive.
All right. And then do tell me on the sort of front where it comes to connecting with friends from old, you were with people in high school. How much of that side is immensely active? Are you still in contact with people you were in high school with? For instance, you were the head boy, you had a head girl, you had an entire prefect body, you had an entire matric body.
Yeah, some of them, yes, I still keep in touch with some of them. My matric class, Obandi there, and most of them, but some I just haven't heard from since we left high school. Some I get to see around PE, some I get to see around Queenstown. Yeah, we still keep in touch, and people are busy with their different, things, and yeah, and it's always good to see them.
All right. Just a sidetrack thing. Is it possible that you just tilt your screen a bit because we seem to have lost the visual of your face there a bit?
Okay, listen, can I just quickly open the door for my son because I think that's him shouting in the car. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
put him in the
No,
car.
that's fine. We can
Yeah,
actually just take a break at the moment and then just as soon as you're back, just give us a thumbs up.
sure.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we conversation here with Qawe Nkebana, the head boy of 2015, rather, not 2014. As he said, his fondest memory was being inducted as a prefect. And, since then things have just gone a bit up. And it's always great to interact with people and just feel a sense in terms of who they are, where they are, and so forth. But as I did say, we can communicate with us via WhatsApp, sorry, not WhatsApp, via the comment section. I'm so used to, being on these other shows where you actually just say, okay, contact us with numbers. There's a number on the screen below. You'll notice, you'll notice that there's a number that is there on the screen, and that is the school number that you can actually reach us out on. So if you find out more about the school and find out about how you can actually enroll your child, what is some of the things that, some of the challenges that children really meet. So definitely this is something that we open the door to, and we are more than happy to actually just be in the space where our children are, most welcome. So I see that Mr. Nkebana is back with us. So let us just bring him back onto the stream. And Mr. Nkebana, thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
Onyana came knocking, and as a parent yourself, you actually let's delve into that.
Yeah.
How is parenthood treating you?
How's parenthood? It's exhausting. Yeah, it's a full-time mission. No, it does never ends. Never ends.
I just have a kind request. If you can just tilt your screen up a bit again, so that we can just get a full glimpse of you, because okay, so just there we go, much better. As I normally say, these are first day things. There'll always be glitches there and thereabout, but we're still going strong, and it's something that is really profound. So we were reminiscing about the fact that you do have people that you went to school with, and these people are doing something somewhere. But and here's another question, that is actually coming through, and that is: have you ever had any unexpected career changes along the way where you felt a sense that yes, teaching is the calling that I've answered, but maybe I would prefer to be, trying something else?
Oh, wow. Not yet. I haven't felt like that yet. For
Yeah.
now, I'm still okay. I'm still enjoying the path I'm on. So yeah, for now, I'm okay. I'm okay.
All right. And your son is also giving you the motivation to stay in teaching, because it's the very teachings that actually make a child as well. So nice one.
Yeah.
You know, is the okay? This might be personal, but is there a missus in the picture?
Yes, 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 yes. Yes,
All
there
right.
is soon to be married, by the way. So yeah.
Soon to say I do, right? So I'm guessing the staff
Yes.
of Royal Academy is getting an invite.
Yeah, some of you guys.
All right. Okay. Okay. No, I had to take it there. I mean, like, you're a product of ours. So definitely, it's something that I will look into. And apart from looking into it, it's something that I'm going to try and milk, as best as I can, because at the end of the day, you definitely are Royalite through and through. And that's something that is extremely important. Getting a couple of highs from different people. So, firstly, it is from one of our dear directors, which is Mrs. Isaacs. Getting another high also from Mrs. Stellenberg Antidebi, our beloved Antidebi. Getting another high from none other than our principal, that is Miss Stellenberg. So, these are people who remember you very fondly. These are people who appreciate
Yes.
you. So, they saying hello, Mr. Nkebana. Yeah.
Oh man. Hi,
Yes,
everyone. Hello,
lovely.
guys.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't just leave school. They made sure, you're always in that zone where you feel a sense that I am home. There's also another high that is coming from a person who was dust time, and that is Spulele Mpu. She was one of the prefects of 2014. Or should I better not just say Spulele Mpu, or Dr. Spulele Mpu. So she's
Oh
also on the
wow.
way saying hi, something that's extremely
Hello.
important where people are just, yeah, they sending their love and so Mr. Nkebana, it shows that you are a person with great influence. You are a people's person, still are, a people's person even today. And yeah, it's always fun reconnecting with people. I remember last year we had coffee and I broke this idea with you, and you were one of the first people who
Yes, yes.
in without a shadow of doubt, you know, and that just reaffirmed
Mm.
a very great for Royal Academy. But I'd love for people to hear why is it that Qawe has this great love and appreciation for Royal Academy.
Wow. For me, oh man, that was for me. That was my, I guess, my second chance to just, because I'd come from Pretoria and I was going through a lot, I guess, at the time.
Mm.
But they took me and they said, man, um, and I took the opportunity and I just, so yeah, man. I think that's why I always feel like they'll always be there. They shaped me, man. Shaped who I am. How I think and how I perceive things and shit.
I like that you were not a naughty person. I liked how you were always this innovative human being who always just wanted to see things move, prosper. You wanted to see individuals move. I remember even the prefix camp, you were extremely instrumental in many of the things that were really happening. And you had this mentality of no one should get left behind. And you were a driving force for many things. And I do want to say that the children that encounter you today are immensely blessed in terms of having an individual who knows how to look after other people. Because for some people, it's generally a thing where it's a salary, it's not the calling, it's a salary.
Mm,
And once they get that
mm,
salary, yes, you never find them there somewhere. If they're not somewhere,
mm,
they are drinking. But with
mm.
that said, what other career opportunities do you think you would have pursued if teaching had not worked out?
I think one thing that I've always felt like I would have done would be acting. Like I would have done TV, entertainment. I feel like I would have loved to be on screen on something.
Okay. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that probably would have been nice.
you remind me of something. You guys did something back in 2014. Um, no, were you part of the group? Or did Yes, you were part of the group. The group that went to Grahamstown for the we did the grade 11 arts festival. Yes, you were part of that
Yeah,
group.
I was there. I was there. I was there. I was there. Yes.
You're reminding me of that because you said, okay, you would have gone for acting. How pleasant did you find that particular outfit?
Yeah, that was a night. That one for me was an eye opener. Because oh man, it actually just added. It just showed me what the broader spectrum of acting, and it made me love it more, man. I think it was yeah, it was probably one of the best um I guess experiences I've had at Grahamstown. No, it was love. That experience was well, there's a lot you saw. And then 2 days, 3 days, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
What an
I think the
experience.
one
It
thing
was,
that
it was
I would
crazy.
have said I enjoyed when being with you guys there is that I told you guys, I said, listen, here we're giving you a taste of what is going to be out there. And I love the fact
Mm,
that you behaved. Because trust me, I do think if ever any of you had gotten up to mischief and action was taken, you were definitely going to be on your own. But I'm very thankful that you guys really enjoyed yourselves enough, but still made sure that you actually behaved. Because, yeah, I would have dreaded a situation where we came back with less people than we actually left with, you know. But, the one thing now I hate about interviews is that they start off really well, and then you come to a part, you get into the middle, and then you start heading towards the twilight where it's like all good things do come to an end. But there are some questions that I definitely, would love to get some insight on from you. And yeah, so we have spoken about getting in touch with old classmates. Okay, apart from me, which we do keep in contact regular, are there any other teachers that Qawe still keeps in contact with and is like, hey, Mr. So and so, or Miss So and so, or Mr. So and so? Are there any
Yeah,
educators?
I think one or two. Yeah, one or two. Yeah, there's one or two that we talk and yeah, we see. I guess we meet from time to time whenever I go to Queenstown.
Mm.
So yeah, one or two people.
No, it's good to actually hear that there are people you still interact with because at times you're like, ish, it's very hard. I mean, like even the time that we had coffee, you were literally on your way, but you still made time. So that is another thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's a question: how would an alumni like yourself contribute to the school and its students today? So if you had to do something for Royal Academy in 2025, what would that one thing be?
Wow. Wow, that's a good question. Wow. What would it be? You got me on that one. My phone is gonna die. My phone is dying. My battery is low. I think my phone is
Okay.
gonna cut off in a second from now.
We can just let's try and push it and see because I'm also worried
Okay.
because I'm not using backup today. It's a first show, but as they normally
Mm,
say, getting started does change everything. But if possible,
mm.
that one question.
I would bring. Wow. I would say I would love to say I'd bring hope. I guess
All
because I
right.
always think of myself as a story of someone that was at a point of no hope, and then eventually there was some light at the end. So I would think that I would love to bring hope and say, even if this is happening or it's that bad, I think there's always, some, yeah. So I would say that I would give them that.
All right. And then, hey, you still there or has your phone? Hey, All right. Thank you very much, Qawe. You know, right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Qawe Nkebana, who is now an educator in Port Elizabeth, and he joined us all the way from there. And I'm stationed in the beautiful Pakamani area here in the Eastern Cape. And you can definitely school at 35 Queens Drive. And you can also, to alumni, we are saying to you, we've started a show. We want to get in touch with you, get in touch with us. And yeah, definitely call that number and we will reach out to you, set up a meeting, and would love to have you on the show as well. We want to connect with you. We want to bring about that part that says, I am a Royalite, and being part of Royal Academy has been something that I am happy about. I am glad that I was actually part of the institution. I'm glad that I was part of something that is super fantastic because at the end of the day, we always look at ourselves and say, you know what, when people ask you which school do you come from and you say Royal Academy and say, where is that? And you say Queenstown, where is Queenstown? It's in the Eastern Cape. You kind of feel small. But if you look at the margins in terms of how much you've overcome and the things that you've really done, you've done phenomenal things as our alumni. And definitely, you are people that we would love to get hold of. You are people that we love to have a conversation with because at the end of the day, the dialogue and everything that we do, the grooming of the children that we have is something that it only happens because we're driven to that point, because we understand that if you train up a child in the way that they should go, they will never depart from it. And part of also understanding children, or child development rather, is something that is phenomenal on any given day. And with that, I say for tonight's show, thank you very much for having taken the time to just be with us, listen to us, and definitely we look forward to having our next guest. And next week is going to be another guest, which we are going to announce in the coming days. But for today, we're saying thank you very much that you have tuned in. And here's to many more shows. This is Alumni Connect. I am your host, Pakamani Ndwandwa, and I will see you next week, Monday, when we interview our next alumni. Thank you very much, and good night, and God bless.